some sports with you. We've got playoff action, of course, MLB action this afternoon. Lot to get into. We're going to be answering your questions. We're going to be doing our research live right here on the show. So if you're new to Butt Fumble Sports, we're a sports content company created by a sports fan for you real sports fans at home. We're broadcasting right now on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, answering your fantasy questions, your sports betting questions, talking some sports, giving out some picks, doing everything we can to maximize the value of your sports entertainment that's lying up ahead on this Saturday. Hopefully a beautiful Saturday wherever you are. Excited to get into the action. Yesterday was a good day. Could have been a little bit better. We had some bad beats. The Dodgers in a 2-1 walk-off loss to the Padres. That was a rough one. Hoping to bounce back today. We actually missed that the overplay in the Knicks-Pacers game by 2 points. That was a rough one. But overall, decent day. Hopefully you had a good Friday night as well with your bets, with your social life, with whatever you were up to. That said, we're turning the page to Saturday and giving out picks, doing our research. So no matter the platform you're watching on, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, write in your question, what do you need help with? How can we be of service to you? Helping you with your fantasy sports plays, helping you with your sports bets. What are you focused on this Saturday? Is it a player prop bet? Is it a game pick, a total play, a parlay, a round robin? Whatever it is, we're here to help you. Butt Fumble Sports, we love looking at data, analytics, research, whatever information we can get our hands on to try to come up with the most analytically advised picks possible, pointing us in the right direction. We're so grateful to have you guys with us. Few things that I do want to touch on as we jump into the show. A couple of different research tools that we use every single day. One of them is Outlier, Outlier. Great resource for data, allowing us to understand the market, how the money is coming down on certain bets, what are the trends, how have the matchups been historically, what are the head-to-head matchups we need to be aware of. So Outlier is a website, an app, a research tool that I highly recommend. If you want a free 7-day trial for Outlier, DM me on Instagram. We'll make sure you hook you up. That said, killersports.com is another resource tool that we use. Outstanding for looking up research that we care about. We're getting our first question in. It's a player prop bet question. It has to do with Chet Holmgren and his rebounds. So let's take a look at Chet Holmgren on rebounds. That game tipping off at 3:30, depending on how the broadcast goes. I'm unaware if ESPN actually does that delayed start of the broadcast. Anyways, right now the implied probability on Outlier suggests the under's a slightly better play, but we're going to get into the trends on this. He's only hit the over on this in one of his last 5 games. That said, it is a decent matchup overall. The Dallas Mavericks are 15th in the league in rebounds allowed to power forward, so there aren't as many bad plays on this. But that said, head-to-head against the Mavericks, it's missed in 3 of its last 4 matchups. Let's take a look at it on the road. Chet Holmgren has gone over this total in back-to-back road games against the Dallas Mavericks, so that's very interesting there. Overall, over the last 20 games, this has only hit 8 times in the last 20. In the last 10, it's only hit 5 times. How about on road games? Only hit 4 times in the last 10 road games, 10 times in the last 20 road games. Personally, I wouldn't take this bet. There just aren't enough trends behind it that get me excited. So Chet Holmgren, I wouldn't touch his rebounds today. Not what I'm into. Stumpy rules, Kyrie Irving over-under. Over-under on what? Points? I will say, guys, we need to make sure we're asking the complete question. I can't read the mind there. Jay Hostel, Mavs, OKC, money line, and total. I'm honestly not playing either. I'm very cautious about this game. I'm not actually betting the money line or the total for either NBA game. I did my research prior to the show, and I personally didn't like what I was seeing. A lot of trends kind of going in different directions. You think the Celtics are a good money line play, but money's coming down on the Cavs. There's some trends coming down on the Cavs. That's a tough one. Mavs, OKC, kind of the same thing. OKC, after a loss on the road, they're actually not that good, but I don't know if the Mavs can duplicate what they did in the previous game. Really tricky for me, so I'm actually kind of avoiding these games when it comes to bets. That said, we got a question about Kyrie Irving and his point total. 22.5. The over is getting more love in terms of the implied probability at home. He's gone over 22.5 points in 8 of his last 10 home games as a head-to-head matchup. Not a great matchup. OKC is pretty good against point guards. However, when Kyrie has played with Luka Doncic, 8 of his last 10 home games overall, only 5 of his last 10 games overall is this hit. Head-to-head, though, against the OKC Thunder, it's missed in the first 2 games of this series, but again, at home, much better play. So I'd be okay taking Kyrie Irving on points. I'd probably buy it at 20.5. That's probably where I'd take it, but I do feel good about Kyrie Irving going over his point total today, though it won't make my big board. Appreciate you guys being with us. No matter the platform you're watching on, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, get your questions in, get your comments in. If there are topics you want us to rant about, if there's something that you care about going on in the sports world, we'll obviously cover it all. If you care about the camps going on, some off-season training camp for the NFL, maybe you're interested in the rookies, how are they going to perform? Fantasy standpoint, maybe that's something you're interested in. We'll talk some fantasy football, actually, in the next couple of weeks. Using Rival Fantasy, we're actually going to do some fantasy football mock drafts within the next few weeks, so something to get excited about. JP over on YouTube is asking about the Phillies on the money line. Phillies on the money line. Phillies, Marlins. Phillies, as we expected, not only won yesterday, but covered the spread on the run line. The money suggests the same thing's going to happen today. 95% of the money is on the Phillies to win. 99% of the money is on the Phillies to cover. Let's dive into some trends right now and look at the Phillies on the money line, and let's see if it's a good play. Phillies after a win, and they're a road favorite so far this year. Just 4-4 actually. 3-5 on the run line. The under has gone 5-2-1, so not as good as we would like. Let's flip it over and let's look at it from a Marlins standpoint. Hopefully that gives us a better trend to get excited about. Marlins coming off a loss as a home dog so far this year, 2-2. So actually, this isn't a game that I'm as excited about. I'll still probably take the Phillies on the money line, but this is just one in which you got to be a little cautious. Let's break this down a little bit farther. I want to see, by the way, part of the problem is we don't know the starting pitcher for the Marlins, so that's kind of an interesting one there. Taijuan Walker is the starting pitcher for the Phillies. How have they done in his starts so far this year? 2-0. Phillies are 2-0 in his 2 starts. They actually came against 2 good starting pitchers, Michael King and Logan Webb. So the fact that Taijuan Walker has pitched as well as he has, or at least the Phillies have performed as well as they have with him on the mound against 2 good starters, is certainly a good sign for today. How about the Phillies on the road? And what time is that game starting? 4:10, technically a day game. So after a win in a day game, the Phillies are 5-4. They've won 4 of their last 5. That's a much better trend for us. How about the Marlins after a loss in a day game? They're 5-10 straight up, 5-10 on the run line. They're just 1-4 in their last 5 games. I will take Phillies on the money line. I am going to take Phillies on the money line. Gets put up on the big board for today. So that's going to be our first pick that makes its way to the big board. Josh, 58759. Where will Caleb Williams go in fantasy? If you do snake fantasy drafts, I still think he's going to go much later. At that time when you're kind of in the back third of the draft, I think there are a lot of other quarterbacks that have value. Don't get me wrong. I think Caleb Williams could be a nice option to stash on your bench to kind of play in tandem with a quarterback. I did that last year very successfully. At this point, with quarterback injuries and matchups, it's kind of nice to have 2 quarterbacks to go back and forth with. I think Caleb could be that really good second option. If you have like a Josh Allen, he's facing a good defense, maybe like the Jets. Maybe that's a week that you put in Caleb Williams, depending on his matchup. That's how I would advise the Caleb Williams drafting. If you're in an auction draft, I think Caleb Williams is in that kind of like final dollars phase. I think he'll probably go for something like $3 to $5 in an auction draft. Really, I think it's going to be the Bears fans who bid on him a little bit more. There are a lot of reasons to like him because the weapons around him, but also a lot of reasons to be cautious from a fantasy standpoint, given there are so many talented quarterbacks in the league who should be able to produce pretty well from a fantasy standpoint. And keep in mind, the quarterback position in fantasy football is changing slightly. So many quarterbacks are now being used as running options, especially in the red zone. That gives even more value to the Josh Allens, the Jalen Hurts, the Lamar Jacksons of the world. Maybe even like a Kyler Murray's value goes up slightly. Caleb Williams, is he going to be that kind of running quarterback? Probably not. He's going to be more of a pure passer, and because of that, his value isn't bad, but it is slightly diminished in comparison to some of those dual option quarterbacks. Again, I'm not saying Caleb Williams can't run. I'm saying I don't think the Bears will use him in the red zone like we've seen other quarterbacks like an Anthony Richardson, like a Jalen Hurts, like some of these quarterbacks that we're mentioning. Appreciate the questions, guys. Let's dive into some of these other fantasy football questions. By the way, D. Turner, thanks so much for joining us today. Tony's got a question about the Red Sox on the money line. Red Sox on the money line, I'm not going to lie, has me very nervous today. Right now, 62% of the money is on the Red Sox to win, while 84% of the tickets. So actually the Nationals getting a little bit of love there. I mentioned to you guys yesterday that I like the Nationals to cover and I like the under. Both of those things hit. Was very happy about that. Let's look at the Nationals coming off a win when they're on the road. So far this year, just 5-6. However, the Nationals are 7-4 on the run line after a win on the road as an underdog. 5-6, 7-4. I'm just going to do on the road and in a day game. 4-2 on the run line. 2-4 straight up, 4-2 on the run line. Kind of interesting there. Jake Irvin on the mound for the Nationals. Let's see how he's performed, or rather how the Nationals have performed with him on the mound so far this year. They're only 2-5 straight up in his starts. They're 4-3 on the run line. So you Red Sox fans might be getting a little bit excited. It might be reasons to believe in them today. How have the Red Sox done coming off a loss and then having a day game the next day? They're 5-1 straight up, 5-1 on the run line. So Tony, I actually think you're onto something here. Cooper Criswell. Let's take a look at how his stats are. Cooper Criswell, he's made 4 starts so far this year. The Red Sox are 4-0 in his starts. They're 4-0 on the run line. I can't believe I'm saying it, but based on everything I'm seeing, Red Sox, you're getting on the big board. We are taking Red Sox on the money line. Red Sox on the money line's a very good play. Coming off a loss, having a day game, they're 5-1 straight up, 5-1 on the run line. The starting pitcher the Red Sox are putting on the mound today is 4-0 straight up, 4-0 on the run line when he starts. A lot of reasons to be excited about it. And the Nationals trends, they're not as appealing. I could see the Nationals covering this game, but I am not as inclined to take the Nationals to win. So I will take the Red Sox on the money line just barely. This is a close one. I do think you could go on both sides. Nationals plus 1.5 or plus 2. Red Sox on the money line. But I'm coming down Red Sox on the money line on this one. That's what I'm playing with. D. Turner, got my dynasty QBs, Stroud, May, Purdy. I love it. Ironically, I think Purdy is the one who may fall out of favor first. CJ Stroud, you could just lock him in. I think CJ Stroud is going to continue to... Could he have a sophomore slump where, he kind of comes, the tide washes back to the ocean a little bit? Yes. But I actually think Drake May, over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, will probably have more value than Purdy, and it really has to do with his arm strength. I think Purdy is a product of the offense that he's in. I'm not saying that the 49ers can't constantly reload and get new weapons, but from everything I've seen from Brock Purdy, my opinion of him has kind of faded a little bit. He's not brilliant. He's not overly accurate. I understand his timing is everything. Timing can get you far, but from a fantasy standpoint especially, I think I like the guys who are more athletically gifted. They're the ones who are going to give me more when it comes to rushing, passing, touchdowns, everything that I need. So D. Turner, love the 3 you have. Really like the fact that May and Purdy are kind of in varying stages. Purdy high now probably will fall. May low now will probably climb over time. Za King, Guardians on the money line. Willing to bet my life savings? I would not. Okay, I warned you guys yesterday that actually I kind of like the White Sox in that game. I warned you guys that the White Sox were a decent play, and I'm warning you guys again today. The Guardians and the White Sox are a tricky one. So the White Sox, here's a stat for you. White Sox coming off a win when they're at home are 4-1 straight up. They're 5-0 on the run line. I mentioned this very stat to you guys yesterday. I know it was surprising to all of us, but the White Sox are actually a good team at home when they've won the previous game. Kind of interesting. How about when they're coming off a win and it's a day game? They're 2-0. Something of note there. Now this game starts, it's a night game for that. It is a night game, sorry, I was Saturday. So they're 3-5 coming off a win in night games. That said, they're still 5-3 on the run line. Right now, the White Sox are the underdog in this one. Interestingly enough, the money is very, very heavily coming down on the Guardians. So if you're following the money, the Guardians is the direction to go in. But I am a little bit cautious given the White Sox trends. Let's dive into the Guardians trends. Are there reasons to feel a bit more optimistic about the Guardians? How about in a night game after a loss? They're 5-5 straight up, 5-5 on the run line. How about coming off a loss on the road? They're 4-3 straight up, 4-3 on the run line. So there's not enough here. I'm going to do one of my favorite quick research plays. The day of the week being Saturday. How have the Guardians played on Saturday so far this year? They're 5-2 straight up, 6-1 on the run line. Maybe that's something you guys care about. How have the White Sox been on Saturday so far this year? 2-4 straight up, 3-3 on the run line. Again, just something to have fun with. I'm not saying that actually means that much, but we look at every piece of data that we can get our hands on here. The Guardians are going to be playing a right-handed starter. When the Guardians face a right-handed starter this year, they're 17-13, 17-13 on the run line. How about a opposing right-handed starter on the road? 9-7 straight up, 11-5 on the run line. How about as an away favorite? Just 1-3. Interesting again. Guardians, in their 4 games on the road as a favorite against a right-handed starter, are 1-3 straight up. They're 1-3 on the run line, and the only time they covered the spread, they only won by a 2-run margin. So actually, the play I'm interested in right now, I want to take I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe I'm saying it. Do I really mean it? White Sox plus 2.5. White Sox plus 2.5 I can get at minus 190. I'm putting it in there. I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm going to put it on my big board. Call me crazy. Call me a lunatic. Call me a bad bettor. I may be, but I'm following the data. And right now, White Sox plus 2, that's the play. White Sox plus 2.5 rather. White Sox plus 2.5. That's the play I'm going to be rolling with. So far in the show today, we've taken the Phillies on the money line. We've actually taken the Red Sox on the money line. And we're taking the White Sox plus 2.5 right now. Now, again, some of you guys out there may love the Guardians on the money line. That's totally cool. You might actually want to put that together in a series of different bets. White Sox to cover by that 2.5 run margin, or even plus 3 if you're going to put it into parlays. Guardians on the money line and some other bets. So kind of interesting there. Really quick, though, I do want to look at the starters for this game. Mike Clevinger is the starting pitcher for the White Sox. Is him being on the bump reason for confidence or reason for concern? Mike Clevinger so far this year only made 1 start. They did get blown out 8-2 against the Rays. How about Tristan McKenzie? Tristan McKenzie on the mound for the Guardians. How has he done so far this year? The Guardians are 5-2 in his starts, 4-3 on the run line. Average margin of difference in terms of runs is just about 1.5. Again, I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to say Guardians on the money line. Guardians on the money line. But the White Sox plus 2.5. I think that's the play. I took Philly plus 1. I think that's smart. Ozuna came through last night. Jay, Tatum under 27.5 points. Ooh. I ranted about Jason Tatum yesterday because he made some post-game press conference remarks after their loss the other night to the Cavaliers, and he just said people think we're a super team and we should dominate. We're not. We weren't given the awards after the season concluded to suggest we're a super team. And I actually agree with him. I think people are giving way too much hate to this Celtics team, but it's not too much hate. It's too much hate given that the expectations have been falsely raised. Everyone thinks this Celtics team should win by 20, 25 points every time they face even a subpar or slightly above average opponent. This Celtics team is not a juggernaut. This is not the 70-plus win Bulls. This isn't the 70-plus win Warriors. The Celtics have a lot of concerns. There's a lot of so many times this year they slip on a banana peel when you actually think that they're just going to run away with things. So keep your eye on that. Anyways, we're looking at Jason Tatum, his point total for today. Great matchup. He's got a great matchup against the Cavaliers. Cavaliers are 25th in points allowed to the small forward position. Head-to-head, though, against the Cavaliers, he's only gone over this total 2 times in his last 8 games against the Cavaliers, and the 2 times came in 2023 and in 2022. So just based on the last 5 meetings against the Cavaliers, the under is the better play. Now, on the road, the unders hit back-to-back games. Both times he got 26 points. So with this player prop bet, you might be sweating this a little bit, but Jay, I think you're on to something. I'm going to raise it a little bit. I'm going to take the under 29.5. I'll say I don't think he gets to 30 points, but I'll definitely put this one up on the big board. Jason Tatum, under 29.5 points. I'm taking the under. It's been a very good trend. I know the matchup favors him, but in this regard, again, just hasn't been very consistent. In fact, the last time Jason Tatum scored 30 points was before the playoffs started. It was actually back in March. The last time Jason Tatum had a 30-point game was March 28th against the Atlanta Hawks. That's a while ago. The last away game that he had a 30-point performance, same game. It was that Atlanta Hawks game. So, frankly, a lot of reason for me to actually love this under. Again, I'm taking under 29.5 points for Jason Tatum. By the way, if you guys miss any of the bets that I make every single day, just DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports is the name of my company. I give away my picks for free. I know there are other accounts on social media that do sports betting research or give away picks, and they charge you for the picks. I think that's ludicrous. I think it's stupid. I think it's an asshole move. Butt Fumble Sports is all about doing research. Whether you guys watch, whether you don't, whether you follow, whether you fade, we love talking sports and we love doing sports betting research. So we give away our research and we give away our picks for free every day. We love if you guys would follow. We love you watching the show. We love building this audience and community of sports fans, but we will never, ever, ever charge you for one of our picks. We're not an expert. We're a sports fan, a former producer at Fox Sports and CBS Sports. But one thing I won't do will ever charge you for a pick. So all the bets I make are available for free on the SHARPZ app. All you have to do is DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. I'll give you a link and a referral code so you can go to the SHARPZ app and see every bet that I make every day for free. They're never behind a paywall. They're never hidden. They're never deleted. They're always accessible. A lot of transparency so that you guys can get some confirmation on your picks, or you can fade my picks and go with what you think. But at least then you know what the data is telling me. Let's get back to some of our research. Tiki-taki. How you like Pirates on the money line? Okay, Pirates on the money line is a very tricky one for me today. I think I do like Pirates on the money line, but I'm not sure I'm going to bet it, and here's why. Paul Skeens is making his MLB debut, the stud right-handed starter. As some of you may know from LSU fame, some of you may know from minor league dominance, and some of you may know because he's the boyfriend of Livy Dunn. Not that that matters, but the dude is a stud, and I don't think we've had a debut of a starting pitcher with this much hype since Steven Strasburg years ago. That said, I don't know what you're going to get from him, and more importantly, I don't know what you're going to get from the Pirates offense. Let's dive into the trends, Tiki-taki, and that way we can get a better sense of it. Here's the only problem. We have no data on him. We can expect him to pitch well, but can we expect the Pirates to perform well? First things first, how have the Cubs done on Saturdays? Just for a fun little question, the Cubs so far on Saturdays are 3-4. How about on the road on a Saturday? They're 1-2. How about in day games on a Saturday? The Cubs are 0-4 on the run line. This is a fun fact, actually. The Cubs are 0-4 on the run line on Saturday day games. How about the Pirates? How are the Pirates in Saturday day games? 3-2 straight up, 3-2 on the run line. Again, maybe for you guys that isn't something you really care about, but it's always fun to kind of see where there are trends that lock in a thought. Like when you do get the fact the Cubs are 0-4 on the run line on Saturday day games, just kind of something that's interesting. Pirates on Saturdays overall are 4-2. Under seems to be a strong play. Under seems to be a strong play for this game overall. The weather right now for Pittsburgh is favoring the under just slightly, so we'll keep our eye on that as we do our research. Now, let's get to the Cubs. And against a right-handed starter, when they're an away underdog as they are today. Oh, they're an away favorite today. Cubs are an away favorite today. They're 3-1 straight up as an away favorite, 2-2 on the run line. That's kind of interesting. How about the Pirates? Pirates, they're going up against the lefty as a home dog against left-handed pitching. Has it happened this year? Nope. Hasn't happened this year. Pirates have faced a left-handed starter 13 times this year. They're 8-5 straight up, but just 2-4 in their last 6 games. The under has been really strong of late. The under is 2, 4, 6, 7-1 in their last 8 games against the left-handed starter. Let's dive into that. Left-handed starters at home, they're 2-1 straight up, 1-2 on the run line, 1-2 favoring the under. Let's take a look at Justin Steele. Justin Steele, starting pitcher for the Cubs. The left-hander who takes the mound. Cubs are 0-2 in his 2 starts. That's kind of interesting. I do have a player prop bet for this game that I like. I'll get to in a moment. Right now, I'm favoring the Pirates just slightly, but let's look at how the money's coming down on this game. Not a good sign. Okay, so 52% of the tickets are on the Cubs to win. 87% of the money is on the Cubs to win this game. 87% of the money on the Cubs to win the game. Don't love going against the money on this one. The Cubs are coming off a win. After a win as an away favorite, has it happened this year? Oh. When the Cubs are coming off a win and they're an away favorite, they're 1-1 straight up, 1-1 on the run line, 2-0 towards the over. Not a lot of data there that we can get excited about. How about just after a win on the road, 3-6 straight up, 5-4 on the run line. So Cubs not nearly as good. How about when they're facing, or the next day is a day game, 1-2. How about when they're facing a right-handed starter in the next game? 3-4. The over's been a good play, 5-2. Pirates, after a loss at home, how have they been so far this year? Pirates, after a loss at home, just 3-7 straight up, 2-8 on the run line. Not what we wanted to see. I can't bet this game. I want to take the Pirates on the money line. Really, what I would rather take is maybe Pirates first 5. I feel slightly better about that, in part because I like Paul Skeens to get out to the fast start. So I would take the Pirates. Can I find that? That would be one to take. And specifically, I'm going to put it up on the board if you can find it. Pirates plus 1.5 in the first 5. If you can get the Pirates as a cover play, or is it plus half a run in the first 5 innings, I've got to make sure I find it on DraftKings. But what the play is we're making is who's going to win the first 5 innings. My guess is the Pirates are an underdog for that. I think they're going to win the first 5 innings. So I'd rather have Pirates on the money line in the first 5 or have them covering like half a run in the first 5 because I think the Pirates may get out to the better start. I do want to call out a player prop bet from this game. There is a player prop bet that I like for over half a hit. Want to make sure I touch on it. And it is... Let me pull up hits here. It's Ke'Bryan Hayes. Now, he's being offered at half a hit right now. You can find him at half a hit at minus 119 on Prize Picks, minus 220 on FanDuel, minus 234 on Caesars, and minus 250 on DraftKings. For some of you, that may not be appealing. For me, I put these into a lot of parlays, so I don't mind those odds. Head-to-head matchup against Justin Steele. In his career, Ke'Bryan Hayes has 9 at-bats against Steele. He has a .556 batting average with 1 home run, 2 RBIs. His OPS against Steele is 1.711. Phenomenal numbers. Not just that, against left-handed pitching this year, Hayes is hitting .297, home run, 5 RBIs. So the fact that he has massive numbers against the starter and is hitting lefties well so far this year is one of the reasons this goes up on the big board. Ke'Bryan Hayes over half a hit. And again, this may be one that you just want to put into a parlay. So I'm not saying you take it on its own at bad odds. I'm saying this is one we think is going to happen. Maybe fold it into some other parlays that we like for the day. If you want to get every bet that I make every day, DM me on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports. I never charge for my picks. My picks are free every single day. DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I make, regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet. Someone's asking about the Twins on the money line. The money is coming down on the Twins today. 67% of the money is on the Twins to win this game. Let's take a look at it. Just real quick, the Twins so far this year, when they've played on a Saturday, are actually 6-1 straight up, 5-2 on the run line. So the Twins have played well on Saturdays, if that matters to you. On the other side of things, when the Blue Jays have played on a Saturday so far this season, the Blue Jays are, as we load up killersports.com, getting spinning wheel of death, and there we are. Blue Jays on Saturdays so far this year, 3-3 straight up. Okay, let's look at the Twins. Twins after a win on the road. Wow, great trend coming for you guys. Great trend coming. Not only are the Twins 9-3 straight up on the road coming off a win, but they've won their last 2, 4, 6, 7 straight games. They've won their last 7 straight games. Even better, I have an even better trend for you. The Minnesota Twins have covered the spread in 9 straight games, I believe. 9 straight games they've covered the spread coming off a win on the road. How about the Blue Jays? How are the Blue Jays coming off a loss at home? Blue Jays are 3-4 straight up, 3-4 on the run line. I'm taking the Twins to cover, everybody. Now, Kevin Gausman's on the mound. Let's take a look at his stats before we lock in our pick. As of right now, though, I like the Twins at that +1. Gausman this year, the Blue Jays are just 3-4 straight up when he starts, 4-3 on the run line. Simeon Woods Richardson. If you don't know the name, get to know it because the Twins starter is actually impressing of late. Simeon Woods Richardson. He's made 4 starts this year. The Twins are 4-0 in his starts. They're 3-1 on the run line. You can put it on the board. Yes, sir. Twins +1.5 is making our big board. Twins +1.5. If you wanted to take them at +2, the Twins at +2 is -160. Not attractive enough for us. We're going to take them Twins +1.5 on the run line. So far we've given out 6 MLB game picks, 1 player prop bet, 1 NBA player prop bet. We have Phillies on the money line, Red Sox on the money line, Guardians on the money line, White Sox +2.5, Pirates +0.5 a run in the first 5 innings, and the Twins +1.5. We also like Ke'Bryan Hayes over half a hit, and Jason Tatum under 29.5 hits. Let's do another MLB player prop bet. I'm going to that Twins game, and I'm pulling up Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa is just he's offered at over half a hit at Prize Picks at -119. By the way, I don't play Prize Picks, but given the odds that they offer some of these players, not a bad thing to actually get in on. Prize Picks -119 on Carlos Correa over half a hit. FanDuel's minus 190, ESPN Bet minus 200, Caesars minus 204, DraftKings minus 205. You want some good stats? Carlos Correa, lifetime against Kevin Gausman, is 2 for 5, good for a 400 batting average. And, more importantly, so far this year against right-handed starters, Carlos Correa is hitting 296, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. I am taking Carlos Correa over half a hit. That's going on the big board, everybody. Carlos Correa over half a hit. That's the next pick that finds our big board. Coco Melon, 5 at-bats ain't shit. I totally agree with you. But let's put it this way. 2 for 5 and almost a 300 batting average against right-handed pitchers this year. That's actually something that I like to look at. Additionally, he has a hit in 7 of his last 10 games against a right-handed starter. Carlos Correa has a hit against a right-handed pitcher in 9 of his last 10 games overall, in 15 of his last 20 games overall, and on the road specifically, he has a hit in 3 straight games against right-handed pitchers. So he has a hit on the road against a right-handed starter in 14 of his last 20 games. So Coco Melon, I was just more saying that he has a decent history against Kevin Gausman. By the way, given how infrequently some hitters face pitchers, having 2 hits and 5 at-bats, that isn't that bad. Like, I know it's a small sample size, but it isn't as bad as you think it is. So Coco Melon, something to consider. Za King, Sam Hauser 3-pointers. Man, we are hitting that vein. We are tying it off. We are injecting some sports betting into our veins if we're going Sam Hauser over on 3s. Let's take a look at 3-pointers made. By the way, I don't know if I'll be able to see Sam Hauser stats. I'll have to check it out. Sam Hauser. By the way, I'm seeing it at 1.5. Over 1.5. By the way, the implied probability is on the under. He's only hit the over once in his last 5 games, head-to-head against the Cavaliers. He's only gone over this 3 times in his last 9 games against the Cavaliers, specifically on the road. No. Za King. In 3 road games against the Cavaliers, Sam Hauser has never gotten 2 3-pointers. It's not that it couldn't happen. It's that the trend is not a good one. I'm not taking it. The trend's not there. I'm not taking it. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you love the content, the conversation. If you do, hit that follow button. Make sure you're following us. That way you never miss a show. D. Leak is asking about Elly De La Cruz over half a steal. I believe Elly De La Cruz has like 26 stolen bases so far this year. Like 10, 15 more than the next guy up. Let's take a look at Elly De La Cruz stolen base probability today. So this is what I would say. Likelihood of getting over half a stolen base is at 46%. That is ridiculously high. We usually see a high market around 30%. It's right now at 46. Now, against the Giants starter, Mason Black, no previous experience. Elly De La Cruz does have a 282 average against righties this year. We like that. He has at least 2 stolen bases in 3 straight games. Crazy. On the road, here's a note for you. D-League. Elly De La Cruz in his last... Wow, this is an interesting one for you, D-League. Elly De La Cruz in his last 20 road games has not had back-to-back days with a stolen base. Take that for what you will. D-League for the plus 110, I don't really like it. But Elly De La Cruz in his last 20 road games has at no time has had back-to-back games with a stolen base. That's a really interesting trend for me. Now, he's going up against a right-handed pitcher. In his last 20 games against a right-handed starter, he's only had back-to-back games with a stolen base. One time, that was back in September of last year. I wouldn't take Elly De La Cruz over half a stolen base. Not a good play today, just based on the trends and data that we're looking at. Brown over points, rebounds, and assists. Let's take a look at Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown. Points, rebounds, and assists is set at 32.5 where I see it. The over is getting a good ride on the implied probability. This opened at 32.5, went up to 33.5, has since come back down to 32.5. As a trend overall, it's hitting 4 of his last 6 games on the road. Only 1 of his last 6, though. This has been a much better play at home. However, what do we care about? How has it been without Kristaps Porzingis? He has hit this in 6 of his last 10 road games without Porzingis overall. He's hit this in 7 of his last 10 games without Porzingis. Again, he didn't hit it in game 2. How about against the Cavaliers? He has gone over this total in 4 of his last 6 games without Porzingis against the Cavs. In the 2 games without Porzingis in Cleveland, he has hit this. I would take the over on this. I would take over 32.5. You guys know I like to buy an alternative spot where I can. I would take Jaylen Brown over 29.5 at minus 225. Maybe fold it into a same game parlay with Jason Tatum under 29.5 points. But I do think Jaylen Brown gets to 29.5 points, 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I'll put that up on the big board, actually. Jaylen Brown over 29.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. I'll take it. Now, I do want to look. I'm personally kind of interested in Derek White. Derek White had a bad game, too. Derek White had been cooking before that. And it very much seems like when Derek White's playing well, the Celtics play well. I'm curious about his point total against the Cavaliers. He has only gone over 16.5 points 2 times against the Cavaliers in his last 9 games. So that game 1 was the real anomaly. He really does not score well against the Cavaliers. In fact, without Kristaps Porzingis, that game 1 was the only time he's gone over 16.5 points. The Cavaliers are the number 1 defense against the shooting guard position when it comes to points allowed. In his last 20 games on the road, he had been going over this very consistently, but when we remove Kristaps Porzingis, Derek White's only gone over this total in 7 of his last 20 games. I would take Derek White on the under point total. Derek White under 18.5. Derek White under 18.5 points. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're seeing. Rangers and Hurricanes over 5.5. We got some puck to talk, everybody. We got some hockey plays. Rangers, Hurricanes, puck drop at 7 o'clock. The over is getting a lot of love from the money. 92% of the money is on the over. Let's dive into a trend really quick. I want to check out some trends. If the hockey site is working, and it is not. Here's the one issue with killersports.com. It is very, very fidgety. So, unfortunately, I can't look up the trends I want to because killersports.com sucks right now. Over 5.5. So, the Rangers have only gone over 5.5 in 4 of their last 10 games. Carolina in 6 of their last 10. How about head-to-head against each other? The Rangers have gone over 5.5 goals in 7 of their last 10 road games. Carolina, the under's been a slightly better play. Personally, I would take the over. I'll take the over 5.5. I really like the over 5. That's what I'm going to take. I'm going to even put it on the board. Rangers, Hurricanes, over 5. I don't think it's going to be less than 5. So even if I get the push, I'm okay with it. So Adam Jackson, I'd take over 5 at minus 190. That's a bet that I'd actually be willing to make on this game. As for the game pick on this one, Hurricanes are getting the love right now from the money. I'd be more inclined to take the Hurricanes. I don't think it's going to be the sweep that everybody expects it to be. On the other side, Dallas Stars, Colorado Avalanche. Again, I can't look up these trends because killersports.com is not a very reliable site sometimes, so very frustrating there. But whatever. I wasn't really going to bet hockey that much anyways. B, what's good? Beautiful stroke. No, I think I like the Hurricanes. Haley, Tigers, Astros. Boy, of all the games last night that chapped my frickin' ass And yes, the Knicks-Pacers game was probably our worst bad beat. That and the Dodgers. But this Tigers game last night, I had Tigers +2. It looked so good for like 7 innings. And then the Tigers bullpen just totally melted. Like a snowball in the dead of summer. It just melted. And the Astros put up 5 runs, ended up winning by 3 runs, 5-2 the final score. And I was just fuming. I really thought it ruined my Friday night. So, I don't know if I'm going to jump back in on the Tigers today. The problem is the Tigers have a good matchup in their favor, especially when it comes to who's on the mound. Their ace is on the mound. Tarik Skubal is on the mound. Tarik Skubal. So far this year, Skubal has made 7 starts. The Tigers are 5-2 in those starts. Now, the Tigers are a favorite today. When he pitches, when the Tigers are a favorite, they're 5-1 straight up. So, Tigers on the money line might not be a terrible play. How about Christian Javier? Christian Javier, who used to be a stud for the Astros, less so of late. Let's see how Christian Javier has done so far this year. When he's pitched, the Astros are 2-2 straight up, 2-2 on the run line. How about when he's a dog? Has he been a dog, or he hasn't been a dog this year. He's been a favorite in every start. I like the under. I like the under a lot. I'll put a bunch of things for this game up here. First of all, Astros, Tigers. I'm taking no run in the first inning. Astros, Tigers. I'm taking no run in the first inning on this game. Don't think we see offense in the first inning. Secondly, I would take the Tigers on the money line. I am going to take the Tigers on the money line for this game. How is the money coming down on it? Is that going to change my opinion? We'll see. Yeah, I can't do it. I'm ripping it off the board. Tigers on the money line. I should like, but I can't trust them. After yesterday, I can't trust them. I will take the under, though. Astros, Tigers. I'm going to take under 8.5. Yeah, I'm going to take the under 8.5. That feels like a very good play. Astros, after a win on the road, are 2-3 straight up. 2-3 on the run line. How about the Tigers after a loss at home? The Tigers after a loss at home are 5-5 straight up. 2-8 on the run line. The Tigers after a loss at home are 2-8 on the run line. And when they're a favorite... when they're a favorite at home after a loss, oh my God. 4-2 straight up, but 1-5 on the run line. Man. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're taking the Astros to cover. I can't believe I'm doing it, but I'm taking the Astros to cover. Astros, can I get them at +2? Can I get Astros +2? Not at a good spot. It's 1.5. Yeah, Astros +1.5. I'm going to take it. I'm following the money on this one. I am going to take the under 8.5 as well. I can get this at under 9 at -212. I'm actually going to do that. That's the more appealing play for me. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the content and the conversation. If you do, hit that follow button. Make sure you guys are a member of this amazing community of sports fans that comes together almost every single day. Butt Fumble Sports is live on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Some people over on Twitch are asking about Bobby Witt Jr. on total bases. Let's take a look at that player prop bet. Again, I give out all my picks for free every single day, so make sure you hit that follow button and make sure you DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. Make sure you DM me and I'll hook you up with every pick that I make every single day for free. Never behind a paywall. I never charge you for them. They're free every day. Bobby Witt Jr., the matchup he has against Tyler Anderson. Bad batting average against him. 9 at-bats, just a 111 batting average. I know against lefties. Actually, against lefties, he sucks too. No, I don't like Bobby Witt Jr. at all today. I actually think that's a terrible play, iFrost. Bobby Witt Jr., bad stats against the starting pitcher. Bad stats against lefty pitchers. No, no, no. Kyle Klein, I'm not a big UFC guy, so actually, I really don't know. Really don't know. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the content and the conversation. Mr. Cash Out, we talked a little bit about why we don't like Jason Tatum's point total, but you're asking about Jason Tatum on his points, rebounds, and assists. So let's give Jason Tatum the full breakdown treatment, points, rebounds, and assists. Is there any part of his game we like? 42.5, the over-under on his points, rebounds, and assists. Should be a good matchup. He has only gone over 42.5 once in his last 10 games, though. On the road, just 3 times in his last 10. How about head-to-head against the Cavaliers? 5 straight games against the Cavaliers. He's gone under this total. Don't like that. How about on the road? It's actually 1-2 on the road, so definitely better. But in his last 20 games, he's only gone over this total 5 times. In fact, if I raise this up and I make this under 45.5, he's only hit this 3 times, and the last time he hit it, much like that 30-point game, it was against Atlanta. I'm doubling down on this notion. I'm going to take Jason Tatum under 45.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. So I'm really not buying Jason Tatum. The only thing I might buy, rebounds. I might take him on rebounds today. Let's take a look at that. His rebound total is set at 9.5. In road games, he's hit this in 4 of his last 6 games overall. Now let's take a look at it without Porzingis on the floor. His last 10 games without Porzingis, 5 straight games he's failed to hit double-digit rebounds. So actually without Porzingis on the floor, on the road, hasn't been a very good play. In fact, without Porzingis on the road, he's hit this in just 10 of his last 20 games. How about against the Cavaliers? Better play, actually. 3 of his last 4 games he's hit this without Porzingis against the Cavs. So I'm not going to bet it, but I am definitely taking under on points and under points, rebounds, and assists for Jason Tatum. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content and the conversation. If you guys do have a question, feel free to fire away. We're going to be live for just a little bit longer. Another MLB game pick I'm putting up on the board. We're going to verify it just by looking at how the money's coming down. I like the Brewers on the money line. Reason to believe in it. Brewers on the money line today. Freddie Peralta on the bump. How has Freddie Peralta been, or how have the Brewers been when Freddie Peralta makes a start? So far this year, 6-1. They're 6-1 straight up. Their only loss was in his last start to the Cubs. I think he's going to bounce back. In fact, last year, yeah, it's not what we wanted actually. But anyways, Freddie Peralta, 6-1 straight up. That's what we'd like to see. So I'm taking Brewers on the money line. That's another one that we like. Brewers on the money line. Next pick. By the way, Rangers lost yesterday. Do we like the Rangers to bounce back today? First things first. How have the Rangers been on Saturdays? Just a fun exercise. 3-3 straight up, 3-3 on the run line. How have the Rockies been on Saturdays so far this year? The Rockies are 1-5 on Saturdays. Their only win was back in March, the first Saturday they played. They beat the Diamondbacks. Since then, they are 0-5 on Saturdays. You may not care, but given the fact we already probably like the Rangers a little bit, I'm kind of interested by it. Coming off a loss on the road, the Rangers are 7-3 straight up, 7-3 on the run line. Again, they lost yesterday. That was a disappointing one. We thought we had the Rangers getting that win. Ryan Feltner. He's pitching today, isn't he? Yeah, Ryan Feltner's pitching, but it's not showing up. How about Andrew Heaney? How has Andrew Heaney been so far this year for the Rangers? Oh, that's why. Andrew Heaney, wow. Rangers have sucked at his starts. Rangers are 1-6 in his starts, and they're 2-5 on the run line. Wow, just when we thought we had some trends going in our direction. Not so much. How about Ryan Feltner? Let's take a look at his stats. Man, Andrew Heaney has sucked this year. Ryan Feltner's 2-5. Man, this is just ugly. This is ugly, folks. These trends. I think we like the Rangers. I think. I'm taking Rangers on the big board, but Andrew Heaney's stats gave me a little bit of caution. I am taking Rangers on the money line, though. We'll put that one up on the board as well. Wow. Yikes. Rangers on the money line is the next bet we're putting up there on the big board. Again, if you want to see every bet that I make every single day, just DM me on Instagram. My picks are never behind a paywall. They're always available for free, so make sure you hit that follow button. Jamar, I'm on the fence on that one. The trends for Feltner suggest the over, but not so much on the other trends. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content and the conversation. We're going to be live for just a few more minutes, so get those questions in. Jason Tatum, Mr. Cash Out. You know Jason Tatum, under points, rebounds, and assists I like. Danny Chen. Danny Chen's asking about some player prop bets. Let me throw some of my favorite player prop bets on the board. These are going to be hit plays. Juan Soto has had back-to-back days without a hit. I don't think he goes 3 days without a hit. I'm taking Juan Soto over half a hit, and I'm very big on it. I have it in a ton of my parlays. So Juan Soto over half a hit. I just don't see him going 3 straight games without a hit. Didn't get it in the last game of the series against the Astros. Went hitless yesterday. Kind of got robbed. A nice play by the second baseman to rob him of a hit yesterday. But do I think Juan Soto goes 3 straight games without a hit? No. By the way, I looked at the stats on the trends on this earlier. He hasn't had 3 straight games without a hit all season long. So that's one of the reasons I like Juan Soto over half a hit today. Another player I like to get a hit, Ryan O'Hearn. Ryan O'Hearn, the left-handed hitter for the Orioles, rakes against right-handed pitching. Really good numbers. We like Ryan O'Hearn over half a hit. You want another one? Here you go. Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil and the Mets are playing Max Fried and the Braves. You would think lefty-lefty matchup, maybe not a good one. Jeff McNeil rakes against him. In fact, let me show you this one, because this one actually kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. We're going to show you hits specifically. And Jeff McNeil, you could get over half a hit at like minus 200, minus 190, minus 205, around there. Against Max Fried, lifetime, Jeff McNeil has 28 at-bats against Max Fried. He has a 357 average. 357 average in 28 at-bats is phenomenal. Against left-handed pitching this year, in 32 at-bats, Jeff McNeil has a 313 average. So between a 350-plus average against the starting pitcher and a 310-plus average against left-handed pitching, Jeff McNeil finds our big board for over half a hit. Definitely one that we like today. Mac, Pirates on the money line. So we're on the fence on that one. The trends are not in their favor. I like Pirates maybe first 5 on the money line, but not necessarily for the entirety of the game. Let's take a look at that Dodgers game. Look, Dodgers had a brutal loss for us last night. If the Dodgers had just won, we would have actually made a lot of money. I had a ton of parlays with them, really kind of crushing that they lost. I know there are probably some people who are like, haha, but you know, it happens. Dodgers on Saturdays. How have the Dodgers been on Saturdays so far this year? 4-2 straight up, 4-2 on the run line. The Padres. How are the Padres on a Saturday? 2-4 straight up, 2-4 on the run line. How are the Dodgers on the road after a loss? The Dodgers this year, 4-0 straight up after a loss on the road, 4-0 on the run line as well. How about the Padres? When the Padres are coming off a win and they're at home, the Padres are 3-3 straight up, 3-3 on the run line. James Paxton is on the mound for the Dodgers. So far this year, the Dodgers are 5-1 in his starts. How's the money coming down on this game? You would think the Dodgers are getting the love. They are. I'm going to take Dodgers on the money line. Maybe it burned me yesterday. Maybe I didn't learn my lesson. But that trend, Dodgers after a loss on the road, I'll take Dodgers on the money line. I'm going to put that into some parlays. There you go, everybody. KC on the money line. KC on the money line. KC's the favorite. The money's coming down on KC to win. The money's also coming down on the Angels to cover. The Royals, when they've played on a Saturday so far this year, 2-4. The Angels, so far this year, playing on a Saturday. The Angels are 1-5 straight up on a Saturday. They're 0-6 on the run line. Again, I'm not saying that the day of a week matters, but I love trends. I love finding trends that have some consistency to them. Angels have sucked on Saturdays. Let's just put it that way. The only win they have on a Saturday was April 6th against the Red Sox. So since then, they've lost 4 straight Saturday games. How have the Royals done? After a win on the road, Royals have actually won 4 of their last 5, 5 of their last 7. So pretty good, actually. How about the Angels? Angels, after a loss at home. Angels have just 1 win in their last 6 games after a loss at home. I take the Royals on the money line. I would take Royals on the money line for this game. Yeah, Cole Reagan's on the mound. I like him as a starter. He's impressive, actually. Cole Reagan, so far this year when he's been on the mound, Royals are 4-4. The under is 6-1-1. That might be the better note for this game. Let's just pump in Tyler Anderson. Under's 2-5. That's the play we like for this game. So for Royals and Angels, I think the under is the slightly better play. If I look at the weather for that game, weather's on the fence. I like the under. I'm going to take under 2. I'm going to take under 9.5. I'm going to be very conservative with it. Royals, Angels, under 9.5. That's the play I'm going to make, adding it to my shopping cart. I now have 10 picks on Outlier in my cart. White Sox plus 2.5. Phillies on the money line. Red Sox on the money line. Twins plus 1.5. Rangers and Hurricanes, some hockey, over 5 goals. I've got Astros and Tigers under 9. Rangers and Rockies, Rangers on the money line. I've got Brewers on the money line, Dodgers on the money line. And I'm taking under 9.5 for Royals and Angels. I'm going to actually put that ticket in the moment we're done with the show. So make sure you DM me on Instagram. I give away all of my picks for free every single day. They're never behind a paywall. I always give you guys access to them. You can follow them. You can fade them. Entirely up to you. But all of my picks are available for free. So DM me on Instagram to get every bet I make. Someone's asking about Giants on the money line. Personally, I'm not crazy about the Giants. I actually think the Reds are going to win this game. The money right now is coming down on the Reds to win as well. Let's dive into it a little bit. Reds on Saturday. Reds are 4-2 on Saturdays. The Giants on Saturdays, 3-3. Again, just something to keep our eye on. The Reds coming off a win on the road. The Reds are 3-4 straight up, 4-3 on the run line. The Giants coming off a loss at home. The Giants are 7-2 straight up. Interesting, the Giants are 7-2 straight up after a loss at home. The under has also been the under's been 8-1. The under's been a phenomenal play. Under looks like a good play as well for today. Based on that trend, Nick Lodolo, starting pitcher for the Reds. Let's see if we like a trend with him. He's made 5 starts. The Reds are 4-1 in his starts. The run line's 4-1. Mason Black for the Giants. 0-1. The weather. Weather's tricky. I like the under for this game. If I had to go in any direction, I'm going to lean towards the under. Reds, Giants, I'm going to buy it at under 9.5. Not a great play, but adding it to my shopping cart. I think I like the Reds on the money line a little bit more. Appreciate you guys being with us. We're going to wrap up our show in just a minute. here's a recap of all the picks that we've made so far during our show today. Again, if you've missed any of our bets, DM me on Instagram. I'll give you a link and a referral code so you can see every bet that I make. They're free. I never charge you for them. They're never behind a paywall. They're never hidden, deleted. They're always accessible. So make sure you DM me on Instagram if you want to see every bet that I'm making for today. Here's a recap of all the picks that we've made so far based on the trends, data, analytics, weather, officiating, everything that we can get our hands on. Here are the picks. We've got Phillies on the money line. Phillies on the money line. We have Red Sox on the money line. Guardians on the money line, but we're also taking the White Sox plus 2.5. I have the Pirates to cover in the first 5 innings. I have the Twins plus 1.5. Astros and Tigers no run in the first inning. Astros plus 1.5. And Astros Tigers under 8.5. We have Brewers on the money line. Rangers on the money line. Dodgers on the money line. And Royals Angels under 9.5. Some player prop bets for you. We have Ke'Bryan Hayes over half a hit. We have Carlos Correa over half a hit. We have Juan Soto over half a hit. We have Ryan O'Hearn over half a hit. And we have Jeff McNeil over half a hit. We have 4 NBA player prop bets for you. We got Jason Tatum under 29.5 points. That's under 29.5 points. We have Jason Tatum under 45.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We have Jaylen Brown over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And we have Derek White under 18.5 points. Our last pick of the day came from the NHL. It is Rangers, Hurricanes over 5 goals. That is a recap of every bet that we've made. All of our picks are accessible for free. All you got to do is DM me on Instagram. But Fumble Sports is the name of my company. It's the same as my handle on Instagram. All you got to do is DM me. I'll give you my picks for free. You can follow them. You can fade them. You can make fun of them. I don't care. But that way you get to see every bet that I make based on trends, data, analytics, matchups. Everything is accessible because you're a real sports fan just like me, and I never think you should pay for picks. You just want to spend your money on some good entertainment, on sports betting, and having some fun. I don't think you should be spending them on getting my picks. So I give them away for free. Just DM me on Instagram. You'll get all of them, and hopefully we're cashing together. Can't wait to see you guys again tomorrow. We do the show almost every single day. I hope you love the content. I hope you love the conversation. I hope you really like Butt Fumble Sports and what we do. We are so grateful for all of you guys watching, no matter where you are across the world and what platform you're watching on. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Thank you for taking time out of your Saturday to watch Butt Fumble Sports. We will be back tomorrow morning because there's day baseball. We will be back tomorrow morning to do it all over again, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday. Good luck on your sports bets. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.